Buckle up, everybody, because we're finally getting another PlayStation 1 classic with this week's PS Plus update. That's right, we're pushing the pedal to the metal and filling that need for speed with the release of R4 Ridge Racer Type 4 coming to the PlayStation 4 and 5. Well, that's cool news, but is this game actually worth playing? To answer that question, I decided to flip through the pages of Electronic Gaming Monthly, Next Generation, PSM, and other old school magazines to see what the critics said back when Ridge Racer Type 4 first came out. Brace yourself, the next corner's tough because this is another fast-paced episode of PS Plus Review Crew. When Ridge Racer was first released on the PlayStation, critics praised the game for being a high-quality port that brought the fast-paced action home like never before. Fast forward a few years, and Ridge Racer and its slightly underwhelming sequels had gone from being the leader of the pack to playing catch-up, all thanks to the game-changing success of Gran Turismo. Not one to rest on their laurels, Namco responded to the competition with R4 Ridge Racer Type 4, a much bigger and deeper Ridge Racer that took inspiration from the influx of simulators, all while still managing to honor the arcadey spirit that made the franchise a household name. While Sony's Gran Turismo may have been sucking up all the racing game oxygen, the critics were still ready to praise Ridge Racer's evolution. Electronic Gaming Monthly's Dean explained that R4 does a great job of carrying forth the personality of the former Ridge Racer games. The drifting technique is easier than ever, floating around corners in the perfect slide is awesome. John went even higher, giving the game a 9.5 out of 10 and calling it ludicrously addictive. The controls are just about perfect. The underlying story of the game, while a bit camp, gives it a far more complete feel than ever before. And I just love the tracks. Wow, nearly perfect. EGM gave the game an average score of 8.75 out of 10. That's not far off from the 86% that we saw from Die Hard Game Fan. Next Generation Magazine was also in that range, giving it a 4 out of 5. They argued that the amount of repetition and slightly old-fashioned AI keep this otherwise amazing game down. But when it comes to the crunch, there's no doubt that R4 is the best arcade-style racer yet seen on the PlayStation. It's fast, fun, and highly addictive, and the addition of the high-res 60 frames per second version of the original Ridge Racer certainly gives the product an enormous amount of bang for the buck. I think you're going to find that 4 out of 5 is pretty much the sweet spot for most of the reviews. That's the score that Ridge Racer Type 4 received from GamePro. And that's also where Computer and Video Games came down in their 209th issue. Even the notoriously cranky Edge gave the game an 8 out of 10. GMR went a bit higher, giving the game a 9 out of 10 and comparing it to the past iterations. It was a close call to make, but R4 narrowly edged out the likes of Ridge Racer 2, and Ridge Racer Revolution. Certainly, the entire series is solid and worth owning, but there's something about the fast and drifty feel of R4 that keeps us coming back for more. Or it could be the incomparable presentation and bumpin' music. Now, in case you're wondering, the highest score came from PlayStation Monthly in their 22nd issue, giving it a perfect 5 out of 5. PSM loved that the Grand Prix mode innovated on the genre and called the visuals and track designs better than Gran Turismo. That said, they were disappointed by the AI drivers and the heavy repetition. R4 does what it's supposed to do, provide an exhilarating and enjoyable racing experience that any player can enjoy. And in that regard, it succeeds beautifully. While some critics may prefer the more simulation racing that comes with Gran Turismo, there's no debate regarding Ridge Racer Type 4's quality. With nothing but high marks, every magazine agreed that R4 is worth playing. And you know what? I agree. This game is great and definitely worth downloading if you have PS Plus Premium. Hey, thanks for watching us analyze these classic reviews. If you're also into these old school games and reviews, then you'll be happy to know that we post one of these episodes every single time Sony adds another classic game to their PS Plus service. We also do the same thing with Nintendo Switch Online. They've got a whole bunch of games coming out this month. In fact, both have dedicated playlists, so I say give them both a binge if, you have a few hours handy. Now, here's the question I have for you. What is the best 32-bit racing game? There's no doubt the Ridge Racer Type 4 is great, and I know that a lot of people love Gran Turismo too. But you know what? I'm always gonna side with Wipeout XL. Not just one of the best racing games, but also one of the best 32-bit games ever. Let me see your picks in the comments below. In other news, we'll be back later this week with a review of Steelborn. Also, if you're a Ridge Racer fan, see how R4 compares to the rest of the series in a feature I'm calling EGM Ranks Ridge Racer. That should be coming on Friday. While you wait for that, I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then,